Hi guys, it's Justine here. This is a small video for you to follow the session that we've had today, and I really hope that this just brings you some comfort in your home. So many of you will probably have a setup just like this. So hopefully you've got a workspace that allows for you to sit comfortably, and you've got a comfy chair. And that you've got a workstation that's set up high enough, so what you might be experiencing throughout this lockdown is a bit of tech neck. So the next 5 to 10 minutes is just about really simple stretches for you to take away, and this is stuff that you can do every day. So I like to call this minimum daily recommendation, an MDR, which just gives you that bit of freedom in your body that helps you to find the achy points of your body and just give them a little bit of a gentle stretch. So neck, lower back, hips, etc. So the first stretch, sitting in a chair is always, comfortable for a certain amount of time. So if you can, stand up when you do this. So just gently coming up as you stand nice and tall, and bringing your hands by your side and really planting into your feet. So already, the posture moves from one of slouching to one which is nice and tall, and focusing on this neck area. So you may well be holding on to lots of tension in your neck in particular, and along the sides of the neck. So bringing your hand, so we start with the right shoulder, hand onto shoulder. And if that's too much, you can just extend the arm away and then just rotate the clenched fist down, so it's nice and strong. And then bringing the opposite hand over onto the head, using your breath to help navigate you into it. So taking a large breath as you inhale, and as you exhale, gently pulling your ear away from your shoulder. So you get a really warm stretch moving along that right shoulder. And I would hold here for a good 5 breaths on each side. So for the purposes of time just now, it'll be just a quick demo with a 1 breath movement in, maybe 2. But you can, hold this between sort of 5 to 10 breaths. If you want to go a bit longer, you can hold it for, a minute, 2 minutes, and then gently release, come out. Slight variation on this to pick up the back of the neck area. So if you keep the hand there on the head for a moment, and keep the arm nice and strong, if you can, holding onto shoulder, but this time taking your hand and position on the back of your skull. So just cradling the base of your head, still keeping the ear away from the shoulder, but start to turn your chin towards your collarbone. And so you start to experience the stretch in a very different place, which is running along the back right shoulder and the back of your neck. And again, hold in for a good few breaths here. And so we'll repeat this exercise on the other side. So taking the left hand onto the shoulder, or extending that left arm away, and then taking your opposite hand onto the same side of the head, so meeting that other hand, large breath in, and as you exhale, pulling left ear away from left shoulder. So you start to feel the stretch, quite a warm stretch running along the left side of your neck. And this is really simple stuff. It doesn't need to be complicated, but certainly giving it the attention daily to help relieve some of that tension in your neck. And again, placing the hand onto the back of your skull and just gently dropping your chin towards your collarbone. It's really key that we breathe here. So the key is in the breath, and just helping you to relax into the body. So often we go about our day and we forget to breathe, or if we're quite stressed, we're breathing into the chest area, short and sharp, and just that simple focus on breathing can really help us to relax and to remove some of that tension. And then when you're ready, gently release. So we hold each of those around sort of 5 to 10 breaths each. The other one you can do in the chair. So still focusing on the neck area, be really comfortable, feet planted on the ground, posture nice and tall, and you're going to brace as you bring your hands around the back of your skull again, interlace your fingers together, a bit like the brace position they teach you if you're familiar with flying. So again, take a large breath in, and as you exhale, squeezing your elbows towards one another and drawing those elbows towards the inside of your thigh, knee area. You probably got a super close-up microphone now as I fold.
and you're pulling the head gently down so that you feel that stretch in the very top of your spine, the very top of your neck. So again, a good few breaths here. Watch out if you start to feel dizzy if you come up, so go slowly. And then very gently we release as we come up, and just shake the arms out. You might get a little bit of pins and needles going on. Don't worry, just move. If you feel these sensations, just move your body, let it dissipate. So when you're ready, standing nice and tall. With this time we open the hip area and we open the lower back. So I want for you to imagine that you're on a beach and you've got a massive inflatable beach ball in your arms. So standing again, nice and strong. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers nice and wide as though you're holding that ball. And then I want for you to press into the balls of your feet. Send those hips forward ever so slightly as you reach back as far as you can. So some will be more flexy, more mobile in that lower back. Some will not, doesn't matter. So you go as deeply into this stretch as you feel comfortable with. If you want to open out in the throat area, you can lift your chin up towards the ceiling. And you might find that there's a bit more range of motion, or actually here is just enough. Breathing in through your nose will help you because it will be restricted if your throat is exposed towards the ceiling. You're going to find it hard to breathe in and out your mouth, so really focus on breathing in and out of your nose here. And again, a few breaths here and release. Take care. Bring your hands onto your low back, so just resting there on the back of the hips, and this time squeezing your elbows towards one another. Same motion there with the hips as you start to drive those hips forward. So this is like a back bend. So this is very much the opposite to what we're used to doing when we're sitting at our desk for lengths of time. So again, reaching back, go back, squeeze into the glutes, squeeze into the quads. And you're really opening around the hips and the psoas, which is where we can get really achy and stuck when we sit for long periods of time. Gently release. Another movement that is so helpful, it's a bit of fun as well if you've got one at home, is hula hooping. But you can do an imaginary hula hoop. So this motion here, you open up the psoas, but you also open up the low back. So it's really important for you to be able to do this regularly, because doing this simple motion can really help you to open front body and open the back body. So you can circle in one motion as you go round, or you can circle in the other motion as you go round. But notice as you come forward, you start to pick up that stretch in your hamstrings and your lower back. As you move forward, you start to pick up the stretch in the lower back, and you pick it up into the quads and your hip flexors. So it's actually a brilliant movement which addresses all those areas that we're talking about just now. So when you're ready, coming back down to a seated position. So you can take a forward fold in your chair. If your lower back is really problematic, a full standing forward fold might not be comfortable for you. So a forward fold in the chair looks like this. You take your feet nice and wide, take a large breath in as you prepare, and as you exhale, lead that heart forward in line with your knees. Relax your head and relax your neck. If you want to go a little bit deeper into that forward fold, again, feet hip width apart, take a large breath in. As you prepare, hinging from your hips, nice and strong as you transfer the weight into the balls of your feet. And let your neck relax. If the hamstrings are super tight, reaching the floor won't be accessible yet. So put the emphasis on yet. That flexibility really will come if you are regularly practicing a forward fold daily, and this tension will start to melt out of the legs. But this is really lovely to stretch and open into your lower back. So often if I've spent long periods of time standing, I'll forward fold to relieve some of that pain. Coming out of your forward fold, you've got two options. You can bring your hands to your waist, take an inhale halfway as you breathe out, and then come up here, or slowly uncurl. Walk the hands up the legs slowly as you come up, and opening the back once again with a counter pose by simply pressing into your lower back and just sending the hips forward again.
as you open. So what we're doing is working with various spine flexions, spine moving this way, spine moving this way. Now we're going to work with a spinal twist. And you'll notice, you know, when you spend long periods of time sitting, we know what our body needs, because you'll reach up and you'll stretch, you'll stretch, you'll stretch, you'll stretch. And that's what we're actually doing subconsciously. So seated twist is lovely. If you've got armrest as well, it's even more lovely. So really important that you're grounded into your feet. So even sit forward slightly to allow you to do that. We work with both sides. So left hand moves onto either the right knee or hold on to the chair rest, or you can, you hold somewhere that's comfortable for you. Holding onto the chair rest is quite nice. You'll bring the opposite hand onto the very top of the chair. So I'll hold my knee in this instance because I don't have an armrest. So taking a large breath in, I'm grasping onto the top of the chair with the right hand, holding onto my right knee with my left hand. Really opening in the chest area, lengthening my spine, nice and tall posture. Take a large breath in as you exhale, twist as you pull to take the gaze up and over that right shoulder. So again, holding here for a good 5 to 10 breaths. Really enjoying that spinal twist. You'll get a twist in the torso as well, a little opening in your shoulder as well. And very gently release. And onto the opposite side, so the right hand onto that left knee, left hand onto the top of the chair. Again, breathe as you prepare, take a large breath in, and as you exhale, move into that twist. And again, holding here for a good 5 to 10 breaths. And we release. And finally, the last one I like to call a backward hug. So standing nice and tall, again, it's trying to undo all the damage that we're doing in the day by, consistently sitting and slouching. And it's so easily done. So standing nice and tall, bring those arms behind. So it might be that you simply clasp one hand onto the wrist. If it's possible, coming around and hugging onto those elbows. So instantly that's the posture which is opening the chest area. You've got a very slight back bend as you do that. And this is quite nice if you just position yourself up against a wall, lean into that wall and stand. And this was something that I would encourage, many people do that were accustomed to sitting in meetings all day and, slouching in that meeting and, simply standing up from the chair and standing against the wall just to open the posture so that the lower back wouldn't be taking a hit, and also this, continuous hunching motion that's happening quite a lot. So you can hold this, again, 5 to 10 breaths. You can stand and, hold for a good few minutes if you're comfortable doing that. And when you're ready, releasing the arms and just giving them a little shake to release any of that, sensation of heat or prickly or whatever it is that happens is, a release. And it's not always pleasant because it's not something we're used to, but it's never anything to worry about. Slight pins and needles won't last, but just, shaking is going to help you to release that feeling. So hopefully they're helpful few tips that can help you with the neck, with your hips, with your lower back, with the posture, and most importantly, breathing.